Good morning, everyone. It's Wednesday, March 25th. This is the chicken with the funny comb. See? Anyways, I'm gonna get her situated. I want to finish up scene one of the Glass Menagerie today. Hopefully you've read it or watched it. It's not that long, it's only a few pages, but it really sets up the scene for the whole play. And tomorrow I want to start scene two, and you need to have some background on scene one for scene two to make sense. So I hope everybody's well, by the way. There's a lot of interesting information out there everywhere. I just hope you're staying safe. Stay inside as much as you can. Stay away from people. Just, be safe, be sane, be kind. Anyways, okay, so Tennessee Williams, Glass Menagerie, scene one. Tom gets a lot of advice on how to eat dinner. He gets advice on how to chew, because, adults need that sort of help. And then Amanda goes on this long, wordy memory of her life growing up when she was a young girl in Blue Mountain. And there's an interesting exchange between Amanda and Tom Laura and Tom, where Tom says, "You know what's coming," and Laura says, "Just let her tell it. She loves to tell it." Because again, if you go back to the videos from the other day, it's a memory play. So the memory of his mother and how she would go on and on about things is what Tom remembers about growing up or living in that household. Bear in mind also, Tom is the only real breadwinner in that apartment. And something else to be curious about is Laura doesn't even have her own bedroom. She sleeps in the living room. So Laura is kind of a also character. There's one more character that I haven't mentioned to you yet, and you may have read about in the beginning parts, and that's the father. He isn't in the play. Well, he is, but he isn't. There's a picture of him on the wall, and he, according to Tennessee Williams and the characters in the play, fell in love with long distances. In other words, he abandoned his family. And all they got from him was a postcard that said, "Hello, goodbye," and that was it. So he's kind of a character, but he isn't. They mention him frequently. You have to know who he is, but he doesn't have a part on the stage. It's not a real person. The ending of the play, or scene one, that I want you to focus on and think about is Laura says she's not expecting any gentleman callers. She's not as popular. She says, "I'm not as popular as you were, Mother, when you were younger." And she tells her mother that she fears she'll be an old maid. So in case you're not sure of what that means, because it's not something we talk about in 2020 for certain, an old maid is a woman who basically has no prospects of marriage, is not going to find a partner, is going to live alone. And back when Tennessee Williams was writing this, those would have been really serious concerns for a young woman, because there weren't many other options for them. Their possibility of work, but limited. The best option for a young woman would be to marry well, or to get married and have a family. Very few other realistic things. And I think as we progress in the play, you'll see with Amanda that that's her biggest fear. And ultimately, this play is about parents and children and their love for one another, and how parents oftentimes live vicariously through their children and are overbearing because they want their children to be successful, because they feel like that's a reflection on them. And when children fail, parents feel like they failed. So, and I don't know, maybe that's true. But in this play, it ends with Laura saying, "I think I'll be an old maid. I'll end up being an old maid." And what that signals to Amanda is that she doesn't have the capacity to care for Laura for the rest of her life, and that Laura would be kind of left on her own, homeless, or at the mercy of living with relatives or something. So, and ultimately, that's a reflection of Amanda's own fears, because Amanda, too, if her children move out and become independent, Amanda will be alone and really doesn't have the financial stability to support herself. And so her fear about what would happen to Laura is actually a transference of her own fear about what will happen to her. Anyhow, so that's what's going on in scene one. Amanda is transferring her fears and her memories onto her kids. Tom is beginning to boil. He's beginning to really be tired of all this and being so responsible at a job that he hates. The economy at the time when they were writing this was not very good. There's a lot of talk about him being trapped. The play opens with him in the alley looking up the fire escapes. And fire escapes are representative of not being able to get out by normal means. You can't go out the door. You've got to go out some, terrifying. Whoops, sorry, chicken. It's okay. You're good. Oh no, you're good. You're being a good girl. Oh no. You can't go out the door. You've got to go out through some, emergency exit. And Tom is looking for that metaphorical emergency exit for how he gets out of this situation he's been born into. So the economy wasn't good. There wasn't a lot of opportunity for people to make a livelihood. And Tom is really going to start feeling the pressure of having to make a decision, and not an easy one. So we're at about 7 minutes. We're not going to go much longer. I just want to remind you, if you got to the end of the video, thank you. Chicken thanks you. She's being good. She's really being a good chicken. Please, in the post section, post your name, because I made the mistake of telling you to comment here. I love your comments. They make my day. But if I'm trying to take attendance, it's hard to take it in two places. So please make sure you can comment here. I love them. And also, if you would, please post your name in the post section on our Teams page. And because you made it till the end of the video, 5 points mastery assignment for responding in the comments. What do you project? Like, what do you anticipate happening here in this play after reading scene one? What happens to Tom? Does he stay? Does he go? What do you think? You can't be wrong. You just have to come up with an answer. Shows you watched the video to the end. And it also gives you some time to think about and reflect on what Tennessee Williams is trying to show. Stay safe. Oh, one more thing I forgot to tell you guys. Many people believe that this play is autobiographical in nature from Tennessee Williams. He had a sister who was very much in similar situations to Laura. And if you're curious, you may want to look that up. So Tennessee Williams wrote this play kind of as a reflection of his own feelings and his own issues in life. So have a wonderful day. Please enjoy yourself, but wash your hands and stay safe. And I'll see you tomorrow with a different chicken. This one has been particularly a good chicken. You want to say hi closer? Can you say hi closer? There's a close-up of her with her weird chicken hair. Yeah, I don't know why that happens sometimes. Anyways, she's been particularly good. I'm gonna go put her back with her friends, and I hope you guys are taking care of yourself, and I'll see you soon. Take care. See ya.